Alright, so Pyra and Mythra were revealed for Smash yesterday, and by revealed, I mean put into the game yesterday. Sakurai did his whole hour-long thing on how to dash attack. So obviously my brother and I went to play the characters because who wouldn't? I mean, with the exception of Minecraft Steve, I think I've played every character the moment they came out. I probably played Steve once for no other reason than to say I played Steve. But anyway, I was supposed to do this video yesterday. I was trying to do this video before I played with the characters. So I thought to do this when he was doing the gameplay trailer. That's when I meant to do it. Like right after that, I was going to talk about it and then be like, yeah, it's gonna be great. I love it. I'm gonna be a Pyra main. All you Mythra mains are cowards because of course everyone's gonna play Mythra because everyone's soft and likes fast characters. I'm going to be a real man and use Pyra because I know how to play the game. Now, that's what I was going to say before I played the game. However, my brother was using Mythra and I was using Pyra and I was getting shoved into the earth. It feels like a bus ride where Mythra is the driver and Pyra is just in the back of the bus at the mercy of Mythra, the bus driver, because literally Pyra does not get to start interactions with Mythra. Period. It doesn't happen. You literally have to wait until Mythra is done attacking you, and then you get to hit. Granted, when you get to land that hit, Mythra's probably dead, but oof. To sit down for like a whole minute just getting comboed by Mythra, yeah, it feels a certain way. Either way, I was getting beat a lot by the Mythra. So my whole idea of calling all Mythra mains cowards has softened quite a bit. Anyway, Pyra and Mythra, good. I do enjoy their character. I am still surprised that they did nothing with Rex. He got relegated to Morgana position so hard that even in the trailer, he was still the main character in the trailer until he wasn't. And then when he wasn't, he just was never back. As soon as Mythra showed the Smash invitation, Rex was hardly a voice in the back. He was expressions at most. I mean, I guess I'm glad because I mean, did any of us really want Rex in Smash? Granted, I did say that a lot when I was complaining about Steve, but I was complaining about Steve. Honestly, you could have given me Tetris Block O, and I would have been like, yeah, I'll take it. Anything would have been better in my mind, hence why I was saying Rex, and also because I've never played Xenoblade Chronicles 2 or 1, so I don't know the whole thing with the game. So, you know, I know of their characters, I didn't know much about them. So to see that they got picked instead of Rex is hilarious because Rex is literally the main character. And they were like, no, you're going into the back seat. I mean, I said that Pyra was like a passenger on the bus, but like Rex is the character who was waiting at the bus stop and the bus just went right past him for no other reason then they didn't want to pick him up. So what I will say with this though is that now it seems as though, with the exception of Minecraft Steve, every character in this DLC pack has in fact been a secondary character, and by secondary character I mean like they are not the main character of the show. Of the game. So like Min, I don't know who the person who made the game is, but he's trying to convince me that literally every character is a main character, which is false. That is not possible, so I do not believe it. Min is third in line, if anything. There's a whole character named Springman. Have you seen the game? He's the main character. It's not up for debate. All right, there's that. And then there's Steve. Steve is Steve. All right, technically, yes. Alex is there, Enderman's there, Zombie is there. So by weird technicality, there are secondaries in his thing that aren't the main, but Steve is still there, so it doesn't really count. And then you have Sephiroth, which, I mean, Sephiroth, so he's not the main character. I'd be very scared if Final Fantasy VII was Sephiroth's game as him being the main character. That'd probably be a very bad experience. Well, actually, no, it'd probably be really fun. Yeah, no, that'd probably be really fun. I take that back. However, he is not the main character, so secondary. And then Pyra and Mythra, there is clearly Rex is the main character. There is no debate in that. So they picked the second people in line. Do you know what I mean? And then when you think about the other pack, it was the opposite, which I mean, obviously it was. So there's Joker, which he is the main character of his game. And then there was, I think Hero was next, which Hero is a weird case because the idea of the second pack is almost like pick the next people in line who are not the first choice. And in Hero's case, there were people that you could have put instead of the first choice, which I would assume is Erdrick. But what they did was they just put all the choices in anyway. A lot like Steve, kind of, honestly. Like it's basically, that's what they did. And then next is Banjo and Kazooie. There is no second person in Banjo and Kazooie. You cannot say that Banjo and Kazooie is represented in Smash and the character they used is not Banjo and Kazooie. So we move on. Next was Terry. And Terry's kind of weird because I think they probably could have picked some other people. I don't think it really was a Fatal Fury thing. It was more of an SNK thing, in which case many to pick from. So they did pick the main person, I guess, per se. It's realistically, I guess Terry would be he'd be the most main person. Like, if they had picked someone other than Terry, I think people would have been surprised. And then there was Byleth, who does have characters that could have been picked instead of him, or her. Because personally, I think Edelgard should have been in. Now, I've played Three Houses, so that's the only one that I have agency in, and I do think Edelgard would have been a perfect pick. Because if you play the game, Edelgard is she's a very prominent character, and although, yes, you could just pick Byleth, and Byleth be like another Robin, Corrin, Marth, well, not Lucina, she's actually kind of a secondary thing, but in that case, they could have picked Edelgard and it would have been justified, because they have no axe users from Fire Emblem. Even though technically you can say Ike is probably filling that role with the way he uses his sword, because that thing is not a sword, it is a pseudo-axe. So yes, he would technically be the axe user, but Edelgard would have been a good pick, and they picked Byleth, so they picked the main person from the series again. But then in the second pack, most of them are secondary people. So like any good ungrateful Smash player would, I'm going to assume who the next DLC characters will be, even though we literally just got some, and base it off of the arbitrary thing that I just explained. Or I can base it off of not that, because Sakurai has literally never done anything in a straight line. So my idea is that he picks Maxwell from Scribblenauts, because why not? I don't even think they have a spirit for Scribblenauts in the game, so the fact that he's not represented at all surprises me. So they could just put him in, and that would be like the most surprising thing Sakurai could do. And if I know anything about Sakurai, it's that I know nothing about Sakurai. I think it's genius, honestly. And also, that's not my idea. My brother thought of that like way back when they first started doing this DLC stuff, and I just thought it was perfect. Like, it's genius. It's genius is what it is. And then obviously we're gonna get a Sword and Shield rep, which I don't think is a controversial choice. I think it's going to happen. Unfortunately, they're waiting till the very end to do it, which just means the last thing we're gonna get is Sword and Shield, and everyone's gonna be disappointed like they were disappointed with Byleth, and I'm not gonna care. Because last time when Byleth came out, I was happy. I was ecstatic. So when the Sword and Shield rev comes out, it's gonna be the same thing. A lot of the same. Because screw what everyone else thinks. Well, I'll accept it. I'll take it. If you give me Maxwell and then like Rillaboom, we move. That's fine. We could do that. I'm perfectly okay with that. So there you go.